As you travel across this great country, it seems like when it comes to the Second Amendment, that as you go from state to state, you're going into a whole different country. The fact that the constitutional right of the Second Amendment is so different in so many states really bewilders me, as I'm sure it does you too. So what we're going to take a look at is we're going to take a look at the 10 worst states to live in for the Second Amendment. Now, I'd also like to say before I give you these 10 worst states that there's more good pro-Second Amendment states than there are anti-Second Amendment states, and that's good news. Coming up in the next week or so, we'll also give our top 10 best states to live in for the Second Amendment, but this is our top 10 worst states for the Second Amendment. Number 1, California. Of course, we knew California was probably going to be number 1, but it had a close tie with number 2. California is really restricting the Second Amendment to the point of almost being a communist country. The laws that are being broken, the anti-constitutional laws that are being broken in California by their leaders is really something that I think in the future many lawmakers will probably be making laws to make sure states don't do what California does. Number 2, of course, is New York. New York is probably worse than California when it comes to what's referred to as the GFI, or the Gun Friendly Index. It's essentially an index that a lot of these pro-Second Amendment institutions will use to looking at laws and culture and that sort of thing. And New York is the lowest of them all. And as we see, just your simple right to carry is being taken to the Supreme Court, and I think this will change very soon. Number 3, New Jersey, just right across the Hudson River there. New Jersey is terrible, and I'd like to say that California, New York, and New Jersey all have the most violent gun crime of any states in the entire country as well. Those 3 combined have more gun crime than all the other states in the Union combined. It's insane, and they're the 3 worst. Number 4, Massachusetts. Massachusetts, about the same. Now, you also have major cities like Boston and things like that, again, you're going to have a lot of violent crime. When you get into major cities that have terrible anti-Second Amendment gun laws, of course, the criminals aren't obeying those laws, so what do you expect? Number 5, Rhode Island. Rhode Island's not very noticed, but it still is having some issues. They're very anti-Second Amendment, and most people that are pro-Second Amendment in Rhode Island are very, very unhappy. Number 6, Washington. Now, just joining, really, Washington, by recently signing a capacity ban on magazines, have really lowered their GFI score a lot. Oregon is better than Washington at this point. That's what's really sad, is Oregon didn't even make this list. But Washington is accelerating towards California faster than Oregon is. Number 7, Hawaii. Now, Hawaii's been this way for a long time. Strangely, they've been kind of leading the way with anti-Second Amendment laws. Their anti-Second Amendment laws go back further than California's anti-Second Amendment laws. Hawaii's been this way for quite some time, and I don't believe it's going to change. Number 8, Maryland. Now, Maryland has recently kind of shifted. Maryland used to be a fairly free Second Amendment state, and it's really just in the last 10, 15 years that Maryland has really kind of done a flip. But we see through places like Maryland and our next state that it could be very pro-Second Amendment, and you're just one election away of turning all that around. And that's number 9, Connecticut. Same thing. Connecticut was, it wasn't that long ago that pro-Second Amendment laws in Connecticut were freer than Missouri. But yet it did this flip. And again, it's just another example of how everything can change in one election. Finally, number 10. Colorado. Now, I'm sad to see Colorado inching their way towards being anti-Second Amendment, but out of all of the states in the Union, the other ones are very much, Washington surprised me. I think if this was 6 months ago, I would have said Washington is not, but today it's very different. It's amazing how quick things can change. But Colorado is quickly going that direction. It's quickly going a very anti-Second Amendment because it's growing in population, and what we see is the higher populated states have the most anti-Second Amendment laws and the most violent crime, and the least populated states tend to have the most pro-Second Amendment laws and the least crime. So there you go. There's our top 10 worst states to live in for the Second Amendment. Again, we will be posting the 10 best states coming up. Keep an eye out for that. Love to hear any thoughts or insight on that. Put it below. If you like this video, click like and subscribe. If you feel called to support this channel with Patreon, that link is also below. But the most important part of this channel is we take prayer requests, so don't ever hesitate to send that in. Thank you for watching this episode of God, Family, and Guns. And as always, love God, love your family, and love guns.